Good morning, everyone. And today, the word for the day is realize. I realize the power of spiritual truth. I have had many aha moments throughout my life when something has befuddled me for years suddenly becomes true and clear. It may have been something I tried to learn in school, a skill I practiced and tried to master as I grew, or even an idea that challenged my understanding of the world around me. Whenever I realized you, I could feel my world expanding, opening up before me in fresh and exciting ways, making me eager to discover even more. On my spiritual journey, I feel a similar excitement as I realize I have so much more than a spark of divinity within me. I am fully divine, just as I am fully human. I feel newly alive in this realization and so grateful for it. And then Jacob awoke from his sleep and said, "Surely the Lord is in this place, and I did not know it." And that's Genesis 28:16. And so today, let's say our statement for realization together. I realize the power of spiritual truth. And so it is. Amen. So it's always wonderful to see everyone here in person and all of the people that are visiting us through live stream. It's always a miraculous time when we can come together. And when we're coming together, the two things that we've already done, the daily word and the song, is really our opening prayer. Because the daily word told us that we're 100% divine and 100% human. 100% divine. That's what I want us to have that experience of this morning. And they sang love is a decision. And I claim that you are love. And they said all you have to do is change your mind. And as human beings, we have the capacity of staying external and viewing our external world, or allowing our mind to go within. And when we go within, we experience our own divinity, 100%. And then you can't help but love, because you are 100% love. And it's a process of allowing yourself to train your mind to focus inside. And one way we do that is with our prayer. So this morning I invite you to start that process and allow the process to continue throughout the service of resting, melting into your own divinity. It's a decision right here, right now, of allowing your mind inside and saying, God, inside and out, I am ready to experience my 100% divinity. I'm ready to lean into the divine truth that I am, inside and out. This morning I see the divinity in myself and in each of you and in the world, in every situation. All is divine. And there's a divine order. And our external mind might not can make sense of it. And when my mind starts to do that, I just say, okay, mind, let's settle in. Let's settle into the truth. Let me step inside. And one footstep at a time, each of us can be divine, taking divine action, knowing the truth of every moment is divine and in divine order. And for that we are so grateful. Amen. And so one of the things we do, we love praying in this community because we know how important it is to express our divinity. And so we always join in all of Richmond area for a prayer, the Metropolitan Richmond Prayer. And you can see it on our screen. Let's say this together, please. We pray for governments and governing bodies of Metropolitan Richmond, for the supervisors of Chesterfield and Hanover counties, the county administrators, and all county employees. And so it is. And we have always opportunities for prayer, so we want to remind everyone that we do have prayer chaplains that can pray for you after the service in front of the church. So please do come up if you're here in person for a prayer. You can also place a prayer in the prayer box. We have a prayer team that prays over the prayers for 24 hours. It's a constant kind of praying, and then we send it on to World Ministry. And if you're online and you're needing a prayer, you can contact the church office, and that would be a lovely thing. And now we have the opportunity to welcome our new minister in prayer. And so just close your eyes and let these words sink into your heart. We welcome Reverend Valerie as we step into our next chapter at Unity of Richmond. In this new chapter, we are emerging out of social restrictions made necessary by the pandemic and open to the new opportunities presented by Reverend Valerie. We see this transitioning time inherent with spiritual opportunities. We see the divine rhythm at play in our lives, individually and as a community. Knowing life is about growth, unfoldment, and change, we explore this new chapter with enthusiasm, wisdom, zeal, and love. Asking, what is mine to do writing this new chapter? We step in unity, seeing and being God the good in this transitional opportunity. And so it is. Amen. What a great opportunity we have, coming from the pandemic with exciting new minister and all of us coming back together with our new selves. And as always, even in the pandemic, now we have great opportunities. And one, we have an incredible opportunity coming our way where we can support preschoolers at a very young age in knowing who they are, the truth of their own divinity. So we have a community yoga preschool. It is a unique living yoga child learning environment. And it's offered by a yoga instructor who has spent most of her life training in this. The curriculum will have values at play, nature immersion, Spanish, art, story, and song. So if you are a mother of a preschooler, or you know someone, or you know of a way of helping to support the marketing of this preschool, please feel free to do that. And then today we have a great opportunity at 12:30. We have Reverend Vicki Canamello, who is also a Reiki master. Then she's going to be doing the Healing Crystal Bowl meditation today after the service. So please feel free to stay for that. And if you're out there watching and you're close by, come on down. We'd love to have you. And then on Wednesday nights, every Wednesday night, we have a meditation live stream. You can visit that through Facebook. It is recorded, so if you're not able to do it at the exact time, then you can listen to it again. So please do join us for that mid-Wednesday boost into yourself with a meditation. And then in August, we have another wonderful opportunity with our own Susan Monicure. She's going to do watercolors and play with music. And I've heard great things about what she's doing with this. And this is a great way of expressing yourself. It's a great way of also unfolding that spiritual opportunity that we're in now through this transition and as you come out of the pandemic. And she says to relax with friends, dive into your inner knowing, and release beautiful watercolor paintings. You don't have to have any previous experience, and she will supply all the needed supplies. The cost is $39. That's a typo. It is $29. And she will bring all of the supplies, and then you get to leave with your wonderful painting, even if you have a mispaint in the mistypo, right? There's no mispaints. And then we need some help here at Unity. Always an opportunity. We have too much grass. We need help in our garden beds. So we need help in cleaning them out and straightening it up. If you're interested in this, please do contact the church office. Thank you very much. And now we're going to move on to our unity principle. If we can say this out loud together, please. There is one presence and one power in the universe and in my life, God the good. How wonderful. And now we have a mission statement that we say together, please. We share the good news that God is unconditional love, expressing as the Christ consciousness in each person. And then the vision that we hold together. We are transformed lives, transforming the world. And for that we are all grateful.
I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. I want to know you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I want to hear you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I want to see you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. I need to feel you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. And I'll always love you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil. And I'll always praise you. Oh God, I'm raising the veil between me and my God. No separation, no distance at all. God is right here in my heart. God is right here in my heart. And God is right here in my heart. I'm raising the veil. Thank you.
Beautiful, thank you. And just as we have many of our congregants that are visiting us online, we have our guest speaker coming to us from online today. We're very blessed to have this opportunity. And we're blessed because it is our Reverend Shad Groverland, and he'll be presenting the message today. And he's going to be presenting the message on the Unity Movement. He's the appointed Executive Director of Unity Worldwide Ministries, and he's been appointed to that position since September of 2020. Shad was raised in Unity and has served as ministers in Las Vegas and Unity of Boulder, and he now humbly serves our whole movement. And so without further ado, here comes Shad.
Hello, my Unity family and friends in Richmond, Virginia. I am Reverend Shad Groverland, the Executive Director of Unity Worldwide Ministries. And I want to send a special thanks to Reverend Richard Bunch for inviting me to do this and be here with you today. Now let me talk about movements and causes. Any kind of movement or cause and group of people behind a cause will come to a point where they ask themselves, where do we go from here? Now often in times like this, there's a special someone who sort of rises to the occasion and moves the cause forward. Someone who creates a breakthrough and takes it to the next level. Now in a fantastical sense, this someone is often prophesied as the chosen one. Now we have some images here of some chosen ones we recognize from movies and history. Now don't get judgy about the picture of Jesus. We don't know what kind of physique he might have had. Anyway, these chosen ones carry a lot of weight and are game changers for the cause or the movement itself. And of course, there are modern day ones as well, which we see here. Some faces you likely recognize. Those that may not recognize her, we have Reverend Dr. Ruth Mosley, the founder of the Unity Urban Ministerial School, where I was ordained, and who was a chosen one in the Unity movement, who chose to do something about a problem she saw with how we were treating people of color in our movement. But the difference between the set of characters in the first slide and the second slide is that the first ones were prophesied and chosen before they were born, and the ones on the right, the second ones, recognized something needed to change and chose themselves to do something about it. Now, in our unity movement today, we are at one of those points where we are asking, where do we go from here? We have had a fruitful journey thus far, but we have also recently hit what you might call a lull or a stall in our path. And this is not specific to unity. It has affected just about every religion and faith on the planet today. But since I am the executive director of Unity Worldwide Ministries, I will speak to our situation today, or rather, I'll speak to our opportunity. Now let me start by asking you this. Have you ever felt out of place in the world as it is today? Perhaps like you might be from another planet watching this one go mad. Well, if you do, or if you've ever felt this way, I want to share this with you. When you are born in a world you don't fit in, it's because you are born to help create a new one. Did you know you are one of the chosen ones? Not that you have been chosen by someone else to fix a problem for them, but rather, if you recognize something that can be fixed, you have chosen yourself to fix it. That is how Spirit works. It doesn't choose you, it reveals a choice to you. So I told you I would speak about unity today, as that is my area of expertise, but first, I need to let you know why unity. Every issue we face as a human family is an issue rooted in human consciousness. There is not an issue on this planet today that does not have its roots in the shortcomings and flawed thinking of human consciousness. And in unity, we are in the business of fixing flawed thinking and lifting up shortcomings in consciousness. So in essence, what we teach and do here in unity fixes the root cause of every issue or problem we face on the planet today. That is why when I get overwhelmed at the idea of how many issues are out there, I simply remember the one solution for them all is unity. Well, let me clarify that a bit. Unity is not always perfect. Not always perfect in its execution and how it shows up in the world. Our imperfect past is evidence of that. But when unity stays rooted in its principles and practices what it preaches and works as a united front, unity is the solution. So that being said, where do we go from here? In many ways, we need to make sure unity is the best it can be because the world needs unity. And if we are showing up as less than our potential, we are selling the world short on the solution it is looking for. So let me share a bit of history. In the early days of unity, there were no churches or ministries as we recognize them today. It was just a collection of individuals studying unity ideas as put forth by our unity co-founders, Charles and Myrtle Fillmore. Now, the Fillmores started sharing these ideas in publications that went all around the world over time. Gradually, around the world, other groups of individuals also started gathering together to study these unity ideas. These groups grew and started to become established ministries and churches. But unlike other denominations, there wasn't a formalized process in unity for planting these early churches. They just grew out of gatherings of like-minded individuals doing small group work together. I share that to point out a possible ripple that it created through unity time. Because these groups emerged from their own individual effort. They were independent of any centralized organizational effort. Initially, it was a beautiful, organic process that unfolded through spirit, simply held together by the shared message they were all studying from the Fillmores, the source. But if you have ever been part of a group or business that rapidly grows, at some point that initial organic approach needs a system to support it. A direction, a focus, some sort of glue that holds it all together. Otherwise, the cats will always win. So in 1966, Unity Worldwide Ministries was created, initially under the name the Association of Unity Churches, to help manage and work with and oversee our field ministries. But here is the issue it has faced from the point it started. The ministries had spent so long celebrating their independence that there was now a resistance to organization or a unified effort. And in fact, much of that remains true today. The ripple of independence that created the ministries began as a tool for innovation and creativity, but gradually morphed into a reason for isolation and resistance to organization and change. This independence ripple can affect the ministry leadership, the individuals in the ministries, and even Unity Worldwide Ministries itself. Now, I want to give you an example of how this plays out. In ministry, there is something called the glass ceiling, which is a known issue that happens when a ministry reaches around 100 congregants, let's say. A single minister with roughly 100 congregants will not grow beyond that size unless they have a system and additional leadership to help. Fundamentally, a single minister cannot do all that needs to be done when a ministry approaches 100 people. And if that minister doesn't have the means, the awareness, or the ability to get help, they will have created a glass ceiling that keeps that ministry from growing. I should know. I was smacking up against that ceiling all the time in my first ministry in Las Vegas, Nevada. So now imagine that ministry is Unity Worldwide Ministries, and the congregants are the ministries themselves. At about 100 ministries, we needed a system, a centralized organizational effort to help this movement grow and stay on course. As we grew to 600 ministries worldwide, Unity Worldwide Ministries would hire more staff to try and compensate and keep up, but the organized system itself was still lacking. That seed of independence was still resisting a centralized and organized effort, leading to ministries doing ministry however they saw fit at the time. Well, now, that might work for an individual ministry, allowing them to be creative and do whatever works for them. But it doesn't really work for a collection of ministries or a whole movement together. Individuality can and is great, but a group of individuals building a skyscraper without a unified plan, well, that's a building that I do not want to go in. After all, the root of the word unified is unity. If we are all heading in different directions, how do we remain unified? And let me remind you why this matters. The world needs unity because we have the solution. But the world can't find unity if it doesn't have a unified voice or a unified direction. And this ripple of independence has also led to another setback worth noting here, which will require a little more history. Now, I was born in the Unity movement in 1976 to my parents who are Unity ministers. And from my perspective, I would say that I grew up in its heyday. As a child in Unity, our ministry was packed with people, energy, and vitality, constantly growing and expanding with a youth department so vital it consumed half of our very large building. When we would go to Unity Village for our summer youth camp as kids, there were 400 to 500 other youth there with us. But something happened in Unity. That same youth camp has about 40 to 50 today. Maybe this will help us understand what happened. Iron rusts from disuse. Stagnant water loses its purity, and in cold weather becomes frozen. Even so does inaction sap the vigors of the mind. You see, things need to move, to flow, to grow, evolve, and regenerate over time. If they sit still, they go stagnant, and the flow starts to move around them, leaving them behind or dissolving them completely. Now, let me share with you a very real and personal story of what I'm talking about. When I went to college, my first year of college was at the College of Santa Fe in Santa Fe, New Mexico. This was my first year away from my home church at Unity of Boulder. I was out on my own now. And so I gathered a group of my college friends and I went to look for the local Unity church in our area, Unity of Santa Fe. Now when I got there, it was a very small church and I came from a very large church. So that in itself was a little bit of a shock. But when I went inside, let's just say it wasn't a very youthful feeling. It had a very old feeling. There was a lot of people older than us there, and they were overly excited to see young college-age students come in the door, so much so that they almost attacked us with their excitement, asking us to help them with the church. Now, we were sort of freaked out by that experience. We didn't go back to that church, and I never went back to that church. So let me point out two things worth noting here. Had the congregation done the work of making changes to stay more relevant with the times, more youthful, when my friends and I arrived, we would have had felt more comfortable there. The second issue to point out is, had I taken more ownership of my responsibility in Unity, such as I do today, I would have stuck around to help them make those changes to keep up with the times. So what we have is two very big issues to deal with that come out of this thought system. One, a perspective that thinks things should be the way I like them. Two, a lack of ownership to help create something that works for everyone. Think about the missed opportunity there. At that time, I was probably exactly what that ministry needed to help grow a youth department and update their overall experience to be more attractive to more people. But that was not where my head was at the time, and concurrently, that is not where theirs was either, at least in execution. They saw the potential in me, but they themselves had not worked to create an environment ready for that potential. Now, I would like to address a misnomer or stereotype that is out there, which I believe has created or at least facilitated some of our issues in the world today and some of our missed opportunities in Unity. Here we have this quote: "Young people, when informed and empowered, when they realize that what they do truly makes a difference, can indeed change the world." Now, I'm not going to say that Jane Goodall here is wrong. After all, she has far more accolades than I do. But that doesn't mean I can't disagree with part of what she is saying. There is this notion that young people or the youth are what is going to save us or are supposed to fix our collective problems. But think about how unfair that is to put the burden of fixing problems we created on the backs of the next generations, or to use reverse psychology to excite them into doing the work to fix the problems we don't want to fix ourselves. Yes, the youth have great power to effectuate change, and that should be celebrated. But the real issue that should be getting our attention is that we are dumping the necessity for change on them, which I think was so brilliantly pointed out by climate activist Greta Thunberg in her 2019 speech to the United Nations Climate Action Summit. This is what she said: "This is all wrong. I shouldn't be up here. I should be back in school on the other side of the ocean. Yet you all come to us young people for hope. How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words. And yet I'm one of the lucky ones. People are suffering. People are dying. Entire ecosystems are collapsing. We are in the beginning of a mass extinction, and all you can talk about is money and fairy tales of eternal economic growth. How dare you?" Some pretty powerful words from a very young, powerful woman. It is a grave injustice and, frankly, a disgusting flaw in human consciousness that creates problems that the next generation has to fix. So let me get back to why you and I in Unity are the chosen ones. You see, a society grows great when old men plant trees whose shade they know they shall never sit in. Would we, the people in unity today, be willing to plant the trees that will create a thriving movement for the unity people of tomorrow? I would imagine all of us would answer yes, and in the back of our minds say, depending on what it would require of me. You see, Greta Thunberg was addressing leaders at the United Nations, none of whom want to create an unhealthy planet, but all of whom are victims of exactly what the rest of us are, which is our programming that tells us to put our own needs over the needs of others, which shows up in ministry by some of us wanting the lights a certain way, the music a certain way, the talks a certain way, the seating a certain way, the building a certain way, the minister to be a certain way. Ultimately, we want unity our way. And all across our movement, I can attest to the fact that many of our 600 churches around the world are in a state of tension between what the current congregation wants and what the future of unity is calling them towards. And really, I think that this is the difference between the unity I grew up in and much of the unity of today. Back then, unity was new to us, and we were excited about growing in unity and growing with unity. But at some point, like tends to naturally happen over time, we got comfortable with unity as it is, and less excited about unity we were helping to create. And that put a logjam in the flow. And I told you about Unity of Santa Fe because I was part of that logjam in my own lack of ownership to help it grow. So much as our society likes to champion the idea that our youth will be the agents of change, so many times our youth hit the glass ceiling of the immobilized generation ahead of them. They run into us and our indifference to the issues. So again, I told you that you are the chosen ones, we are the chosen ones. We make it possible for the next generation to thrive. Luke Skywalker would have gone nowhere without the work of the Resistance and Obi-Wan Kenobi before him. Neo would not have been able to conquer the Matrix without the work of Morpheus and the Resistance in Zion before him. And how many prophets of the Old Testament were preparing the world for the arrival of the ministry of Jesus? When we look at Luke, Neo, Jesus, and the heroes of these stories, they are really just playing the last hole of an 18-hole golf game. The true chosen ones, the true heroes, are the ones who set them up for success in the previous 17 holes. Now let me close out by sharing with you something that has blown my unity perspective wide open recently. I just met with our Unity Worldwide Ministries International Advisory Council. And in this particular meeting, it was primarily representatives from our ministries in Africa. Let that soak in for a second into your consciousness. Our Unity family in Africa. They shared with me that they don't have the resources to get a website going and how crucial a website is in this day and age. They also shared that the students in our Unity International ministerial schools can't afford the books or the tuition, but still sacrifice much of their livelihood to try and pay for them. Overall, I heard them share how long Unity has been focused on the concerns of ministries in the United States and largely ignoring other countries like Africa, who are so hungry for the Unity message, especially the young people. And coincidentally, I had two gentlemen from Africa, unrelated to this group, unrelated to each other, reach out to me on Facebook in just this last month, inquiring about how they can get Unity in their hometown, how they can get involved in Unity. Towns where we don't even have a Unity presence in their country yet. Now I'll read to you what one of them wrote to me after I asked him to share a bit more about what inspired him to reach out to me, what inspired his group to reach out to Unity. Here's what he said. Greetings, Reverend Groverland. I hope you are well and blessed. Thank you very much for your questions, and I'll try to respond to them all. We are about 38 believers, but it can happen that we meet in the number of 65 or 70 persons when we have visitors who come to worship together with us, here at Bujumbura. I have another group of 19 persons in another province, in Gazi province, which I sometimes go there and assist them as I can. Yes, we gather regular every week. We are gathering together. I'll try to take pictures and send them to you. We discovered Unity on the internet. I was reading on the internet about your organization. We have fasting prayers. We pray for those who are ill. We have choir songs, Bible study time, etc. We don't have Unity books, except that we read about your beliefs online. Please, if you can send us Unity books, it would be our blessing. We wish affiliation with your ministry. We wish that you can help us to grow spiritually by giving us some teachings which can help us. We wish that we can be Unity Burundi, as you have unity in other countries. We would like to be your children in faith. We want to belong to your ministry. For us, we were meeting at my home, but we are looking how we can start meeting in a meeting room. Our government doesn't allow many people to meet and pray at home like a ministry or church. We found a room. We hope next we will meet in there. The wish of our group is to be like a ministry. That is why I told you we want to be part of your ministry. Please keep us in your prayers. As Tanganyika Lake is destroying houses and goods of people here at Bujumbura, we have believers also who lost their homes, who are in a difficult situation. You can check it out on the internet about Tanganyika flood here at Bujumbura. And that's how he finished it. Oftentimes, we hear something like that. We are inspired to give and try to help, which we should. But let me help you understand the funding model of our movement. Unity Worldwide Ministries serves and supports the Unity ministers and leaders around the world. Those ministries and leaders donate back to us to support the work that Unity Worldwide Ministries does. So for Unity Worldwide Ministries to thrive and better support the ministries we have around the world, we need the ministries themselves to thrive in order to be able to better support us. We are the glue that is helping to hold us all together, a unified structure that allows the ministries to walk hand in hand towards our collective calling. And for you, as a chosen one, we need you to help this ministry thrive with your energetic, creative, and financial support. So where do we go from here? I believe the next heyday is just around the corner for Unity, but it will not look like our heydays of the past. It will call upon each of you as the chosen ones to be dedicated and committed to your ministry in the effort of creating an experience that meets the diverse needs of the modern world. When you do this, you will become the answer that everyone is looking for. And by working with Unity Worldwide Ministries, we will help them find you. And that is the truth as I experience it. Thank you. God bless you.
It's always wonderful to hear from the leaders of our movement, to see what we are a part of. And just as we are an individual that are part of this community is part of something larger. And so whenever we say, what is it that is mine to do, it always starts within. And it starts with becoming aware of your own divinity. Go into that place. And when you rest and melt into your own divinity, and melting isn't easing in, it's not forced, then you're able to bring that divinity forward. And then one person becomes the cause. And if everyone came here knowing what is theirs to do in the cause of creating unified divinity, then we continue to step together. So prayer and meditation is the root of our movement. And prayer and meditation is the root of my daily life and all of yours I know. So let's take this time now to turn our minds in, allowing ourself to melt. We don't need to find our divinity. We don't need to seek it. We already are it. It's a matter of settling in. And in this church, we often say, I am. It is the I am nature. And you can attach a word to the I am, especially if that helps you to go within. You can name your roles. I am a woman, a teacher, an artist. You can attach qualities. I am love, wisdom, zeal. But those all still remain external until you come to the I am. Simply, I am. 100% divinity. So at this moment, allow yourself to step inside, resting and melting, not seeking, just being. For you be divine. We be divine. The world be divine. The truth of 100% divinity. Unified being. Stepping into I am. You are. I am. Beingness itself. Taking a nice, easy in breath with a nice, slow emptying. And another one if you would like. allowing yourself to remember the best of this time in the silence. Taking another in-breath and out-breath. Allowing this experience to permeate into every cell of your being. 100% divine, while being 100% human. And take another nice in-breath and out-breath as you slowly open your eyes. Being aware of what's different than before. And that difference is simply being and bringing your beingness into your external thoughts, actions, and world. And so it is. And so just as we can't function as a church unless there are people doing things that they need to do, I want to thank those people. I want to thank each of you for being here today. I want to thank Chad for being willing to visit us from where he is to support this church as well as the Unity movement. I want to thank the musicians and the band as always for everything you do. Thanking Katrina. And I want y'all clapping for yourself too. Everyone claps. But it's not one piece is more important than the other. That's the most important thing here. And we have an amazing AV team in the back that shows up dedicated every day or through the week and on Sundays so that our live stream people can join us. So we thank you. We thank our staff that is here doing everything that they're doing. We thank the people that keep our community clean and Debbie Williams for all the extra she puts in to make sure it happens. The people that set up our snacks outside. And we also want to thank our board of directors because they have been holding the high watch for us as we have gone through this time of searching and securing a new minister. So thank you, everyone. And now comes a time that's always very important for our church. It's our prosperity. We give prosperity through our actions, our thoughts, and our deeds, but we also give prosperity through our finances. And I see people coming forward. We're finally at this point where we can pass the little purple basket again. So come forward, please, gentlemen. And so for those of you online, you can also give, and we're always grateful for that. You can see on the screen, you can text now to the 77977. But for now, let's say our prosperity blessing together. Divine love expressing through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, all that I receive. I am grateful. Thank you.
I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. Tell me, princess, now when did you last let your heart decide? I can open your eyes, take you under my wonder, over, sideways, and under on a magic carpet ride. A whole new world, a new fantastic point of view. No one to tell
you and me. I feel like a princess.
And as our ushers come forward, we say together, we give thanks for the gifts that will support our mission of creating a spiritually awakened world. And we thank the gifts here, and we thank all the vibration of money coming in from the internet. Can't you feel it all? Thank you. And so now we want to say our prayer for protection and then our peace song. So together we'll say, the light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.